So we're going to take a look at using DaVinci Resolve to do some video editing, putting together a number of different clips, combining in some audio and some titling. So DaVinci Resolve is a kind of professional level video editing bit of software. It's cross-platform, and they give it away for home use for free. So it's a pretty impressive bit of software for zero cost. Lots of features, most of which we're not going to use. If you hit download, you can choose your platform, and they'll ask you to register to obtain your own copy. This is what the software looks like when you launch it. There's four main tabs or screens here. So the media tab is where we gather together all of the clips, the video, the stills and things that we're going to use. The edit tab is where we combine things on a timeline. The color tab is where we do adjustments to color. You'll see this in more detail as we go through. And deliver is where we export the file in a format ready for us to use. Before you start, it's very important that you organize the files that you're going to be using. If you don't do that, if you stick your files all over the place, once you've imported them into the video project, if you then tidy things up and you rename them, you're going to break the links to the files that are contained inside your video project. So it's best to get things organized up front. I've got a folder here I've made for my project, and in it I'm going to put some subfolders. One folder for my video clips, another folder for the music I'm going to use, and another folder for still images that I'm going to use. All right, so I've got a still image here. I'm going to pop that in there. Got a couple of video files I'm going to be using, which I'll pop into the video one here, and some music. All right, so renaming your files with sensible names, organizing them into some kind of folder structure like that early on means that you shouldn't have any issues later on losing files and that kind of thing. All right, so in DaVinci here, I'm going to start a new project, and my little movie is going to be called Pokemon Gone. First job then is to get our media into the software, so it knows which files we'll be using. I've got a still image, music file, and a couple of video clips. So these sit here in something called a bin. This is our master bin. In the media tab here, you can actually trim your videos. You can specify which part of your video clips that you want to use, because it's very likely that if you shoot your own video, you'll have bits at the start, bits at the end that you don't want to use. So for example here, this robot clip, if I scrub through this, you'll see there's titling at the start, and there's some blank green screen at the end here, which I don't want. So if I move forward to the point where, in this case, where the green screen starts just here, I can mark this as the start point. So I can mark the in point where the part of the clip that I want to use begins. So the shortcut for that is the I key. We can scrub through to the end, the black bit here, and I can mark that as the out point. You can see here that the part of the video we want is highlighted here. So I haven't actually deleted the bits either side. I've just marked the bit that is of interest to me. Before we begin actually putting the movie together, before we begin editing it, we just need to make sure the settings for our project are set properly. So if we go to File here, Project Settings, we want to be working on a 720p movie here. So the timeline resolution, I'm going to set that to 720 HD, 720p here. We also want to set the video format here to be HD 720, 24 frames per second. So we want this value here to match up with the value at the top and the timeline frame rate here, playback frame rate here.